There we go. With a bit of luck, we've fixed that now, team, but we'll have to see. We will have to see. Perfecto. Ooh, babe, we're coming on. I can hear your voice through the telephone. Where is that connection going to come on for us? It says lost connection. Is it going to get it back? Is it going to get it back? Is it going to get it? Looks like it did. Perfect. Did we fix it, did we? It is absolutely fantastic. So, welcome back again. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Ryan. I did some, a little bit of reconfiguring. I'm disappointed you're not saying the best looking painting on TikTok, DN. But anyway, I'll keep working on that. Here we go. All right. A little bit of maroon, a little bit of magenta. Ooh, baby, we're coming on. I can hear your voice through the telephone. Beautiful, beautiful. No, Ryan, never. Like that song from Greatest Showman. All the tears of a thousand spotlights. Can't remember exactly what the song says, but basically she sings never enough over and over again. Never enough, never enough for me, never, never. And what's wild is actually, let's sneak down in here and grab this. Where are you hiding? Just down in this bag. All the tears of a thousand spotlights, all the stars they pull from the night sky. Somehow, little mosquitoes are biting me, but we've fixed that. How am I doing today? You know I'm doing good. And Chad, good to have you here. Good to have you. Yeah, it looks like our reception has drastically improved with our latest little tweak. So I'm very happy with that. Oh, tears of a thousand spotlights. All the tears they pull from the night sky will never be enough. Never be enough for me. Never enough. Never, never, never enough. Never, never. Alrighty tighty. We're making good ground. Yes, we are. We are indeed. So, we're back. And this time, hopefully, everything stays intact. And yes, one thing I do love to listen to, Jules, is The Greatest Showman. Honestly, can't help myself. Let's have a look-see here. What's happening here? Let me figure this out. God, now it is properly stuck in my head though. Oh, the tears. Yeah, let's check that one on there. There we are, team. If you're interested in jumping on as a subscriber, we would absolutely love to have you. Otherwise, just keep watching me add pink and hang out as a person listening to us yarn about the Greatest Showman. It is also entirely okay. And all the tears of the greatest spotlights. The old classics, sing the words but not know the lyrics trick. Pulls from the night sky. Never enough, never enough for me. Never enough. Never enough. Whew. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you. Right. Jumping off the pinks again, team. We're going into the blues. Going into the blues. Now, I've got to say, it's a bit of an honour to get this whole field to ourselves. I don't think... I mean, do we deserve it? We're lucky to have it. That's the important thing. We're lucky to have it. And if the Wi-Fi holds out, because we have 4 bars of 5G, so you'd think it should. And we continue to have this lovely park to ourselves. And if the clouds part a little bit and the sun comes through, then what more could make this more fun? Honestly, I think as far as luck goes, we have absolutely everything we need. And all the tears of 1,000 spotlights, and all the things they pull from the night sky, never enough, never enough for me. Never, never back to orange. No, sorry, red. But we're going to keep a lot of those blues in there. Never enough, never, never, never enough, never, never. Okay, there we go. A little more down there. Beautiful. We're going to leap in here just with a little bit through those parts. And I want to get, one thing I want to get from this train is the movement of it through the, it wants to feel like it's not charging, like way too much movement with intensity, but it wants to feel like there's, I can't think of the word, but whatever the correct term is for it wants to feel like there's a bustling crowd here. It wants to feel like there's a train chugging. I'm thinking of the word chugging. Moving along. And then this tree up the top here, we're trying to get the branches essentially where they are, but not overdoing it. So that way the tree itself has the characteristics of the tree outside the house, but doesn't actually stand out as being too realistic compared to where the train and the people are, because there's this element of wildness through the entire thing. Do you have small works as well? Eric, Seb's small works are very, very few and far between. The only last time we did small works, I've got a couple actually. I should share them. I'll share them on the Discord and the chat, just so you guys can see some old high school works. In fact, that'll be really fun. I'll show you some of the old stuff. But at the moment, the smallest things I've done were the 2 portraits of the dogs at around 16 by 20 inches. Smaller than that, it's sort of hard. like, even with a canvas this size, see my reach here across the entire thing. If it's small, what else shrinks? My movements shrink. They become little and jagged. And so when it comes to thinking, when you look at a picture and think, actually, how are we going to get more movement in that? You're sort of like, all right, let's paint movement. And it's more just like a little scuffle in a small picture. But if it's bigger, you can get bigger strokes in there. I won't show it all, Steve. I'll show you some of the greatest hits and some of the old exercises. We'll slowly feed it out. The old art boards, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. When we used to do courses, like I had 3 art subjects in 7th form where we did sculpture, design, and painting. There we are. All the tears of 1,000 spotlights. That's all I used to do in high school. Make art. Did drama, actually. That was another subject. So how did I fit that into 7th form? I thought you were only allowed 5 subjects. Maybe you're allowed 6. English classics, drama, painting, sculpture, design. I forget. All the tears of 1,000 spotlights, all the winds pulled from the night sky, never be enough, never be enough for me, never enough, never. There we go. Just keep adding in little bits through here. And the next thing I want is a bunch of delightful yellows. We've done our blues, we've done our reds, and now I want to add some yellows, not into the blues, just into the reds, to see how that goes. Yeah, drama's good. Drama's good for boys. Teach you how to express, how to act. All right. There we go. What have we got here? Gloss fluid medium. Add a bit of this down here. Never enough, never, never, never enough, never, never. Right. Now this is going to turn it into a slightly more, not a burnt sienna, but definitely a sienna. Some type of sienna. Here we go. I'm going to slash this through here. Never enough, never, never, never enough, never, never. All the tears of 1,000 spotlights. All right, mix it in there properly. Swipe, swipe. There we go. I like that little rattle that comes over. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but for some reason, the sprinklers, I think as it resets, makes a rattle as it comes back. David, great question. This painting here is not going to be sold. It's not selling, it's a commission. So this painting already has an owner, and it we'll be heading off to a lovely home sooner rather than later, actually. It's got to be finished in the next 15 days, which the reason why we have that amount of time is because you never know what direction these paintings go in. So the idea is with 15 days, hopefully, with our ups and downs, we can bring the painting through into fruition. And once it's completed, send it, well, frame it, photograph it, send it. It's got to arrive on this specific date. So we've got ourselves a margin of error. And I'd like to give that margin of error, pass that on to the shipping outfit rather than me using it up while painting. So I think we're doing a pretty good job of that so far, but it's art, it's wild, it's crazy. We don't know if it's going to continue to work in our favour or if it's going to suddenly start backtracking on us and taking negative steps. All we can do is our best. Thanks, Layla. I like painting outside too. And Kathy, I missed Kathy's comment. You live in New Orleans. Oh, Kathy lives in New Orleans. All right. So Kathy, this is Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Mardi Gras in New Orleans, which is pretty fun. And yeah, it's the train from the festival. So at the festival, Kathy, there were two things. There was a train and there was the dragon. I mean, there was lots of other things too, but these were the main ones. I think the train came through first and then the dragon. And this here is the uppity crowd sort of having fun and dancing as the scene takes unfolds. All the tears of 1,000 spotlights, all the faith pulled from the night sky will never be enough. That was my comment earlier. I don't know what you're thinking today, but it looks so familiar. And Jade. Hello, how you doing, Jade? Long time no see. Say Norlands. Ah, they do. Yes, I have heard that. And don't worry, Jade. Unless it starts raining or any wild cards come in, we'll just keep painting. So you haven't arrived late this time. You're totally all good. Totally all good. Right. G'day, guys. Right. Lovely. Correct. Norlands. Maybe that's what I'll say from now on. What are you painting? What are you talking about? Obviously it's Norlands. Norlands. Am I saying that right? Norlands. Norlands. I suppose if you were saying New Orleans every day, you would shorten it, right? Like, humanity did that with their, they are. Things like this. So, why wouldn't they do it with New Orleans? New Orleans. In fact, it makes perfect sense. All the tears of 1,000 spotlights, all the nerves they pull from the night sky. Da 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 da. Hello, you were in Hamilton. No, I'm not, Robbie, but I'm in Auckland. But I like your excitement about location. I just can't match it. Narlins. I'm getting there. the tears of 1,000 spotlights, all the prayers they pulled from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough for me. Never enough, never, never, never enough, never, never. All the tears that pull from the night sky. There we go. Whoo-wee. Just through here a little bit more yellow in here. Streak that through there and up in there. There we go. And down here. I need some white, team. I need some white. We're going to splice it into a few of those other colours we've got. I've got a big tube of white because we go through a lot of it. This is thick, not thick, heavy-bodied acrylic. Heavy-bodied acrylics are fantastic. Well, when you want them. Most of these acrylics we use here, I use are soft-bodied acrylics. And I like the soft body because they flow nicely and you can combine stuff into it and they tend to have more pigmentations. Heavy-bodied are more, this is the texture you get. You can mix them thinner and things, you can, but it's a little bit harder. It's like imagine pancake mix. Pancake mix once it's really fat and thick and then you add milk or water to it and it just sort of falls through a hole in the middle and then you sort of stir it and it goes from lumps and then slowly blends in. That's mixing mediums into heavy-bodied acrylics. But then when you have your thin-bodied acrylics, that's like pancake mix that's too liquidy. And then you sieve some flour in there and mix it. If you do that right, it actually thickens up better, or you get to your result better. Did I explain that well? Unless, of course, you like making your pancakes too thick, in which case you'd like heavy-bodied acrylics rather than the other way around. Or if you're like me, and then you make it too thick, then you add some water, you make it too thin, you add some other ingredients, pancake mix, make it too thick again, and you just go round and round and round until you've got enough pancake mix to feed a small army, and then you bake 1,000,000 pancakes, get way too full. Example still stands. I hope that makes sense. Mostly in Taupo. All right. What's my favourite subject if I can choose? Probably people, to be honest. Probably people. But like, that's because you're making me choose though. If you said, what's your favourite thing, you have to choose one. I like people because, first off, I'm a person as well. And so there's a natural bias there. But I think in people, in their form and in their face, there's already an ease to connect with what you see in the art. But with things like landscapes or abstracts, there's another stage of buy-in that you have to go through to see what you're after. Now, it doesn't mean it can't have as much effect. It can. But with a face or a person, for example, we immediately personify what we see, and that personification of the art subject matter gives the artist more opportunity to connect with the person viewing the art. Maybe not. Sometimes we see too many people in art and we get a little bit put off. And so sometimes a landscape speaks to us because when we see it, we aren't having this intrusive person jumping out of the frame at us. So it depends. Everyone's psychologically a little bit different. So what you'll connect with in art, if I say people are the best thing to connect with, it's not entirely true for everyone. Your own journey and your psychology is going to play into it in a massive way. But in terms of myself and what I like to make, I think people can have a big impact. I love painting old people specifically. Old portraits where you have the beautiful, I mean, you could say wrinkles, but I like using the term evidence of smiles across their face. That's something really valuable and beautiful, team. Thanks. Is that J-Bean? And no, I'm not in Europe. Wish I was, But no, we're not in Europe. We are painting in New Zealand. New Zealand. So if you start at planet Earth, start with Earth, go for the southern end of it, the southern hemisphere. And then once you're in the southern hemisphere, go a little bit further southeast of Australia. Southeast of Australia. And then once you're in the southeast of Australia, go a little bit further, cross that little bit of ocean there, you're going to land in New Zealand. And then once you're in New Zealand, we're not done yet. Whoop. Once we're in New Zealand, you want to go to the North Island, the big city, Auckland. And then from Auckland, you want to go to North Auckland. And then you'll find where we are right now. It's a big journey. It's not quite Europe. Never enough, never, never. Let's get this lovely steely blue. We've been waiting on this colour for a while. I've been watching, I've been waiting in the shadows. I've been watching, I've been waiting. Do 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 do. I've been watching. Eat more of this transparency gel. I'm going to get a new plate so I can mix more efficiently. Grab off the colours that I want to be using. There we go. Beautiful. Leave that brush behind. Swap to the next one. And your style is very busy. Do you ever feel you overdo a painting? Do I ever feel I overdo a painting? That's a good question. We talk about overworking paintings, don't we? Overworking a painting. Do you feel like you overwork a painting? That depends. That depends. It depends on the journey you're going on with each individual painting. So a lot of this stuff here is done with a lot of transparency gels. And so there's layers and layers. Now the best way to know if I'm overworking it is to look at it in the small screen and see what it looks like. And at the moment, I'm seeing a perspective there, the train moving forward. I'm seeing some people coming in here gradually. A flatter area, which is our land. The elements of a tree. Too busy? Not just yet. It's coming together, but it's definitely not complete yet. If we were to say, no, stop there, you've gone far enough, we're pausing it there, it would be a catastrophe because the painting is not finished. I think a lot of people struggle with that. When do I know if a painting's finished? And I never answered it. I made a reel for it, but I never posted it. I just didn't like the reel too much. Thought I was forcing it too much. But what I basically said was, you know a painting's finished when keeping what you have, the love for what you have, is stronger than your desire to see what it can become. And at that point and that point alone, you've reached the mark of completion in the painting. And you typically make a painting too busy when the next brush stroke is governed by the last one. If you apply each brush stroke as a new thing and don't let the previous brush strokes control it, you just keep trying to represent that painting, you will cover things up. You will break certain things, but you'll keep allowing yourself to capture a new element, a new moment within the painting. And if you don't allow yourself to possibly risk certain pieces of it, then you'll never allow the painting to actually grow past the first few strokes you gave it. And all the tears of 1,000 spotlights beautiful, never enough, never enough. Thanks, Jules. How long have you been working on this painting? We've had about 5 sessions on it. 5 sessions. But it's very hard to know how many sessions it's going to need. Hard to know how many sessions it's going to need. Because I say this all the time, but painting's not a linear process where it goes from here to here. Painting's more like this. And some days it goes like this, some days it goes like this, some days it goes like this, and some days it goes like this. And so since you don't know what any day is going to be, it's hard to say we're going to get to here by tomorrow. The best thing to do is to give yourself a margin of error and know that overall, usually, you trend towards a direction of completion. Even if there's uncertainty within the journey, you'll come right. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I can't read those Japanese letters to read your name, but I want you to know that the support is very much appreciated. And I always appreciate it when someone shares the live. That's honestly possibly the coolest thing that someone could do. That is right up there with someone having a drink bottle or a t-shirt. The reason why is the biggest motivating factor or inspiration I think a creative person can have is when they see someone who feels enough connection that they'd like to show their friends or show that they're a part of something. That's really compelling. Like, you know when you see a really good quote and you just want to add it to your Facebook feed, or if you see a t-shirt that says something. What's my one? I don't normally blibber. I post quotes to my Instagram feed. Usually what I do is when I see a really good quote that really resonates with me and I connect with someone, what I do, Barker, you're a champion. You're an absolute champion. I get the Instagram quote or the quote from wherever I get it from. I take a screenshot of it and then I put it as my phone wallpaper. So that's my typical go. So when I unlock my phone, I get reminded for the next few days or weeks or months of what that quote was. And for me, that's really, really important, because whatever resonated with me with that quote, I probably need to see it over and over again. So, big fan of that. Right. Let's keep all the tears of 1,000 spotlights, all the lands they pull from the night sky. It's never enough. Never enough for me. Never enough. Never, never. Never enough. Never, never. Beautiful. Yes, I always get the Greatest Showman stuck in my head. You're all good, Jay Smith. We'll catch you later. Have yourself a good day, mate. Thanks for coming along. I appreciate it. And I still can't believe that we've had this field to ourselves this entire time. We've literally had a couple of people walking past with a dog, and that's about it. No, I am not a rugby player, but I have hijacked a rugby field, which is pretty funny. Never enough. Never, never. Never enough. Never, never. Gonna grab some of that skin tone, mix it in here, make ourselves a tan colour. We're gonna start throwing it around. all the tears of 1,000 spotlights, all the bands they pulled from the night sky would never be enough, would never be enough for me. She's so needy. I agree with her, but she's so needy. Never enough, never, never, never enough, never, never. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate you. Poetry or music? Aren't they? Isn't music poetry out loud? I mean, poetry is beautiful. And the reason why I love poetry is that when you read poetry in its word form, it seems to care a lot more or matter a lot more about how you react to the words that you read and how they make you feel. And then you create your own narrative through those words. But with music, it seems more like there's a musician making a song and a listener, and you basically consume the music, but it cares less about what you feel about the music. I think that's why a lot of people sometimes gravitate towards improvisation jazz, because with the improvisation of it, and I mean, I haven't never been a personal fan of it, but it does care a little bit, or far more, about the listener. And I think that's important. So poetry is fantastic. Definitely read it and realize that it really cares about your reaction as you read it. It really does. And in music, consume music. Absolutely. Dance to it. Move to it. But it does feel more like a consumption that you're doing. Unless you put it in your ear and you start singing and dancing. Now you're creating your own environment, and that's been a catalyst for it, which I'm also a big fan of. Kathy, you're all good. We'll catch you later, Kathy. Thanks for joining in. And this is me. A lot of people resonate with that song. A lot of people. For me, the song that really pops for me is The Other Side. The one with Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman. He's like, okay, my friend, you wanna cut me in. Dun, 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 dun. Now I admire you, oh yes I really do. You're onto something, really it's something. I live among the swells, we don't pick up peanut shells. I'll have to leave that up to you. Don't you wanna get away? Big fan of that song. It's like The Other Side. It's a great metaphor. It's a great metaphor for actually, if you're in a comfortable position, to throw that comfortable position away a little bit and go after what you are inspired by or believe in. I feel like a lot of messages tend to revolve around that get comfortable thing. But I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Listening to Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron talk about throwing comfort away in the pursuit of dreams. You've got to love that. Is this how you want to spend your days? Whispering at women and plays. If I was mixed up with you, I'd be the joke of the town. There we go. Slash that up through there. Chucking a bit more white. Voila. Listen to The Outside by 21 Pilots. All right. We've got The Inside, The Other Side by The Other Side by Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman, we've got The Outside by 21 Pilots. We've got The Inside, which is where we'll need to go if it starts raining. Just all go. Thanks, Jules. I appreciate it. Here we go. Let's slash this around in here. This is how you want to spend your days. It's funny, they're both two very different characters in that movie. But when that song comes on, you sing both verses, feeling the lyrics of both. As if you're the person on one side and on the other side simultaneously. Which is quite cool for song lyrics to be able to do that to you. You're simultaneously Hugh Jackman trying to convince someone, and you're Zac Efron trying to be convinced. Run. New album. Grab the painting and run. What's happening? I don't think there's any reason to run at the moment. One might evolve. But currently we're all good. Is this how you want to spend your days? Whiskey and women and plays. And the good thing too is we typically paint with the painting straight up and down, which is fantastic because what that means is if it starts raining, the drops won't go straight on the painting. It'll need to come in on an angle to hit the painting, which it will. Raindrop art. Yeah, so if the rain comes down, like I say, it'll miss the painting. For just enough time for me to actually progress inside. But we will see. Is it, when you say the Midwest today, it'll be nighttime where you are right now though, right? Here we go. Oh, all right. That'll be because yeah, you've caught me off guard because I'm usually painting earlier in the morning. So since we're not painting early in the morning this time, USA is at a far more reasonable hour. You'd finally live a little, finally laugh a little. "4 p.m. Jeepers. 9 p.m. in London. 4 p.m. in Canada. It's sort of crazy. It's sort of crazy how everyone has different times around the world. I think we sort of get our heads on the idea sometimes, or I do, that we all wake up and fall asleep in unison, but it's really, we're living in, yeah, all times are happening at once. It's like that song by, who's the artist? Warren Buffett. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. 4 o'clock in New York City. It's 4 o'clock in the city that never sleeps. It's 4 o'clock in the one place in the world that doesn't care what time it is. In fact, the only place that cares less about the time is probably Dubai. Is this how you want to spend your days? Women and please. Pa. Here we go. Wonderful. Whoo-wee. 10 p.m. in South Africa. That is getting late. That is getting late. All right. Well, guys, that's enough of a layer on for this time around. We might take this one to the studio and dabble a little bit further. But for now, I'm going to pause there. And, yeah, let that layer sink in a little bit. But it's been phenomenal to have this lovely football field all to ourselves. It looks like it might try and rain. I doubt it, but it might try. So anyway, we'll move on from here. Guys, look after yourselves. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you all here. And I will see you next time as we bring this train closer and closer to its conclusion. Cheers, guys. Bye now. If I can find the button, how awkward. There we go.